छाया आसमान देखो झूमता गगन हे छाया आसमान देखो झूमता गगन
Hello, hello, hello. Welcome, welcome. This is G. You're watching Allastrology. You've made it to the star room. It's the Saturday Starry Night Live. We are burning some cedar and we are clearing the room for some good vibrations. And we will take a look and see what's up in the sky, see what's in the stars for whoever comes by tonight. Got a couple of emails, so we'll see who's all going to be here. You're at the Astrology live stream. Let me see if we got anybody here. Sometimes people send me emails and they're like, yes, and then they don't show up at the live. So we'll see how this night goes. Hopefully the technology keeps working for us. It is Saturday, June freaking 7th. June freaking 7th. Amazing. All right. Before we go further, I take care of a little bit of the Allastrology stuff, which is a reminder. The last Saturday of every month, we do this same thing, the same format, but it is private. It's the private lives. So it is a limited availability to get in on the private lives. Again, the last Saturday of every month, and this month is already full. It's already full. So if you are interested in being part of the private lives, send an email to me. Email is right below the live stream. And then I'll send you the details. Okay. And if you can't make June, because June's full, then you could always ask for July. You could always ask for the next month because it's just the last Saturday of every month. You just figure out what works for your schedule. All right. That's all the business I have to take care of. Now, let's start this. Well, we'll see where this night takes us. Let's start whatever we're starting. Let me go to it says we got somebody watching here. It says, yep, there's some people watching. Let's see who's all here and let's see what we're going to do tonight. Are we looking at charts? Let's see. Oh, yep, here we go. I got the chat. Christy's here if you are. Yes, if you're in the star room, it must be Saturday night. Yes, Saturday night. What's going on, Amiga? How are you doing? Teamwork One, how the heck are you doing? I see you here. Magically Intuitive, how are you? Don't know if I recognize you. Oh, I probably should have said some of the most important things. To look at the charts, I got to have your digits. Birth time, birth date, birth city, birth state, province, country, like wherever you are, wherever your birth was. You got to get your digits to me. I prefer to have them before the live stream begins. That's what the email is for down below. Get your digits to me ahead of time so I can already have your chart drawn up. Please do not guess at your birth time. That makes the reading of the chart off. It won't make sense. It won't sound like you. It's not my fault. I don't have an accurate time. That's how it works. So yeah, get your digits to me if you want your chart looked at. I do spend extended time with some folks who send a gift to the channel, right? I like to look at everybody's charts, But if you send a channel gift, you take care of me, I take care of you, you take care of the channel, we take care of you. All right. So Ray Finkel. Ray, what's going on? I think I remember you here last week or the week before, a couple weeks ago, right? I don't think I have your digits, or if I do, yeah. All right, sorry, I'm shaking the whole damn thing. Magically intuitive. I don't know who, some people might have different names. And so if you have a different name that your chart is under, you want to make sure that I know who you are, that it matches the chart I have. So magically intuitive. Angela's here. Hey, Angela. Yeah, we've missed you too. How are you? Donna Marie is here. All right, Donna, I see you. All right. So we go in order that you show up in the chat. Showing up in the chat is basically our cue, right? You show up, you get in there, you got to put a comment in there. So we got to see you. Like as example, Christy's number 1, Teamwork's number 2, Magically Intuitive would be number 3, Ray would be number 4. If I don't have your stuff, yeah, then I go to the next person. And some folks who are in the chat and who are here, they just come to learn, to chat, to talk astrology. A lot of these folks might say pass. So sometimes the chat can go fast. Your turn can come up quickly. Can you guys hear me? I didn't even bother to ask that question, did I? Let me look on my phone. I know we have a lot of folks really curious about the Jupiter. Gemini. Yes, not Jupiter. About Jupiter moving into Cancer, right? Jupiter, we're at 29 degrees, guys. It's the countdown. Today's the 7th. So we got like a 48-hour countdown. We're in that mode right now. Like, holy crap, right? Jupiter just flies, right? It got to 27, then 28, and bam, 29 degrees, the critical degree. And I don't even want to talk about it, right? We already know the billionaire degree, right? Public figures, the billionaire degree, social media. I don't probably need to say much else about that. I'm sure some images pops in your mind. I'm not really on any socials other than YouTube, but I've heard the news, and that's enough for me. All right. So can you guys hear me? Did I check? Did I see? All right. There you go. Teamwork said I pass. Oh, Lou's here. Lou's got a list. Holy crap. Awesome. Okay, Donna, no problem. I see you. And you sent me a message. Yeah. Katz is here too. All right, Katz, what's going on? Donna Marie, Katz. Yep. Lou S made it. All right. Christy. All right. I need to sign up for July. Yeah, June is full. If you're signing up for July, you'd probably want to do that pretty quickly. Because I have, it's very private, so it's a very small amount of people that I take in. You gotta, if you're thinking about it, either act on it or just decide you're going to get on the following month or even the following month, because sometimes they fill really fast. Okay, so, did anybody say if they could hear me? Oh shit, Zazu. Zazu's here. Hey, Zazu, how are you? Well, that sounds so serious, Zazu. Yeah, I definitely don't have his information. All right, so Teamwork's passing. Christy, Teamwork passing. Magically Intuitive. Yeah, so for these names that are on, let me go to the other thing now, because we got some people here, so I got to get to work. Thank you, Lou, for doing that. I appreciate that. That's a huge help. So Angela said, I love the opening. Well, that's great. Okay, so we can hear you. Oh, thank you. Okay. All righty. Drawing Momentum. I recognize that name. It's been a long time, but I recognize that name. All right, let me find where Luce gave me a little list. That was great. There we go. That'll work. All right, so yeah, for people who are here, if you're not going, you just let us know that you're passing. And that's how we can just immediately go to the next person in line, and that way people don't have to wait. So Christy, you're number 1, it says. Teamwork said passing, and magically intuitive, I don't have your digits. Ray Finkel, I don't have your digits. So yeah. Okay. All right. Got you, Ray. I see. Yes. All right. So let me get Christy up here real quick so we can get on so I can get on the ball, and let me pin this thing for myself so I can see it. All right, hopefully that'll work. All right, let's see. Okay. All right, Zazu, I see you threw some digits there. All right, well we'll get to you. We'll see. And yeah, we're here every weekend. All right, Christy, you want the link? Did Christy say if she was passing? Oh, Lord. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Whoa, drawing momentum. Yeah, our condolences. And, when it happens so fast like that, hospice means somebody who was sick for a long time. And, yeah, sometimes I feel like, I don't know, sometimes I'm kind of happy for people when I see that, because it can be, I've known people who've gone in hospice, come out of like just the bouncy thing, and it was just a long thing, and yeah, it's hard. It's hard on everybody. All right, so here is the link. It's for the persons whose turn is next, and Christy, that's for you. There's your talkie link. Now, so Christy, you got to tell us in your time. You have a trip plan, and I got to know if you got your people. If not, people should know that that you've got a trip planned, and if you're looking for people, travel partners, travel companions. All right, let's get Christy up here. She's ready to go. Hello, hello.
Hello.
Going there, Miss Christy.
Not much. Just to let you know that Ray Finkel's my brother, and we do not know his birth time. He just suddenly appeared one day. So that's we found him under a rock.
And Mama's like, that's not my child.
Well, she says the 80s is a blur because
Oh, shit. Okay.
she had 9 kids, and she had one every 2 years in the 80s.
Gotcha.
So
Man.
he's got 2 birth certificates. One for the 4th and one for the 14th.
Well, then if he comes frequently, we can always, do the tweaking like we learn how to do over time.
Right.
With different birth times. We start with a noon hour chart, and then we kind of work with it. Okay, that's so wild. So he's been here one other time, correct?
Like a couple other times. And like on Saturday night, sometimes he'll come up because he lives like an hour away. He'll come up and spend the night, and we listen to you together. So
okay. Well, yeah, that's fine, Ray. There was something about the name. The very first time I saw it, I'm like, God, has he been here before? Like, he just something familiar is what I'm saying. And I'm like, no, we don't know this guy. But every time I see that name, I'm like, this person, I know this person or something. Anyway,
I've got 5 brothers, and he's my favorite. So,
oh well, I'm assuming if he's here. So, how's your thing going?
Pardon?
How's your thing going? Your travel plan's going?
Well, I've got 2. I'm looking for one more.
Oh, very good. So you're looking for so it's been quite successful then. That's awesome.
Yeah, but we had to cut down the trip. So,
you mean like the window?
Yeah, the itinerary.
Gotcha.
So, but we just need one more.
Well, in case there's anyone here listening that doesn't know, where are you going, Christy?
Well, September 30th, we're flying over to England and Scotland. It's 10 days, 11 nights, all girls. Um, that's the beauty of the whole thing.
Right?
If you want, it's a train from London to Edinburgh, Scotland, and then a self drive all the way around Scotland, and then from Glasgow back down to London up by train, and 2
Man,
days in London, and then fly home.
wow.
So,
Wow, wow, wow.
but if you're thinking about wanting to go, we're
Yeah, how do they contact you?
well, I'm on Facebook, but if they can
As
contact you, you can throw it at
Christy?
me. Yeah.
Oh, that's true. Okay, so you're saying they could just email the Allastrology email and I can forward it to you, or
Yep, if they're interested. And it's an all girls trip, like I said. It's
yeah.
just you
She
don't
said
want to.
it's a girls' trip. Not women
Yeah,
only, but a girls' trip.
yeah, it's just a girls trip.
That
And
tells you we're gonna have a fun time.
yes, yes.
It's ladies
So
who are going to have a good time.
yep, going to the Isle of Skye, looking for fairies and ghosts and paranormal, and just just go have a good time.
Well, that's the place to do it, that's for sure.
I've got a question. This last
Yeah.
week has been a pretty big shit show. Um, and I'm the
Well,
supervisor.
yeah, there's been challenging energy.
Okay. So
Yeah, the north and the south node up in the sky. The north and the south node were in a big T square in this past week. Yeah, so that just creates stress and tension, north
Uh-huh.
and the south node. So whether it was at work, it could be domestically, right? Because the south node's in Virgo energy, the north node's in Pisces, so institutional energy. Um, the the complication came in because we had Venus and Mars trining,
Mhm,
so very feisty energy, right?
mhm.
Because Venus was also connected to like Eris, so it was angry Venus too.
Oh, yeah.
Um, yeah, so there was just a few combinations where because Mars was connecting with Venus and it was about Venus's, her values, but Eris was there, right? So it's Eris and Mars trining too. They're
Uh,
like siblings, they're both fighters. Do you know what I'm saying?
yeah.
So there might have been a lot of fight mentality or energy, and then Jupiter went to a critical degree a few days ago. It clicked to
Wow.
29. And so that connection makes it where if something had to be said, it was probably said, as opposed to biting on the lip or biting the tongue type of thing. What
Right.
was your situation?
Well, I
Like, did you want me to
didn't
look at the chart for you?
I didn't bite my lip.
Okay,
I
well,
let it
that's what I'm
fly.
saying.
It
Trust me,
was
you weren't the only one.
it was on Wednesday.
Yeah.
It was on Wednesday when this happened, and I normally don't do this, but I just exploded because I didn't wanna hear somebody's bullshit.
Yeah,
He just
uh-huh.
he kept circling back around, and it was over my car,
Yeah,
and
patience was like there was
gone.
none.
Yeah, it
Yep.
was just like, "Get it fixed." Yeah, it was bad. It was my okay, here's the story, is I have a display, where it has your, like, radio and your communications,
Yeah.
and you can see the backup camera. Well, at 65,000 miles, it went dead,
Oh,
and
yeah.
but on hot days, for some reason, it would come back on. So, I don't know. It was
Right.
just glitchy, and then I went to see how much it was to replace it. Well, a grown man named Skippy when I went to the dealership, he was like, "Well, it's gonna be $1,400." And I was
Mhm.
like, "Oh, well, I guess I'll just sing to myself."
Right.
And then he goes
Right.
"Wait, hold on," after he gives me that devastating news.
Yeah.
And he says, "Oh, you bought the extended warranty for up to 100,000 miles." Oh, fantastic. So the
Yeah.
deductible is only $100. And then that was right before Memorial Day. And then I waited a week before I called him, which was a Friday, to see if they got the part in or anything like that. And they said, oh yeah, come in Monday at 8 o'clock. So I make arrangements have my husband drop me off. I had to get a ride to work. I had to do all that. And then I dropped it off. And then an hour and a half later, he calls me and says, oh, he can't get into it. He can't get to it. The service department guy has got a motor that he's got to work on for 2 days. And you can come back on Wednesday. So I do the same crap again. And then he just starts going on because I'm by myself. So I'm a woman in a man's environment.
Oh, I completely understand. The
So,
bullshit with the car theft stuff.
Yeah.
Totally. I totally understand.
yeah. So
Every woman does.
he says, they drop it off to my work, and I meet the drop off guy, and I get in the car, and they had cracked around my air conditioning vent.
Holy shit.
And I said, whoa, wait, to that little delivery guy, and he says,
Yeah.
what? I said, y'all did something. Oh, I didn't do it.
Holy
And
shit.
Skippy had called and said, we're delivering it, and your radio works. So not only when I get in the car, the radio's not working, and they cracked my thing. I drive immediately down there, and I said, hey, Skippy. This is a grown man named Skippy. That's what I keep saying. And I said, the radio's not working, and you broke my thing. And he gets into the car, and he says, yep, the radio's not working. I'll ask the tech about this. And then I was thinking, yeah, you're going to ask, and they're going to say they didn't do it.
Right,
And,
right.
I'm just, he comes back out. He swears on his kid's life he didn't do it. I said, well, I swear on Jesus Christ, I didn't do it. You all did it. That's not the way it looked like. And then he went on to this tangent about soy-based wiring and mice eat it. And then he circles back around that the guy didn't do it. And then that's when I lost it, because he kept circling back around saying that he didn't do it. And then he said that did I take it anywhere else while I was waiting on this? And there was a screws missing in the glove box and a 10 amp fuse. And then he circled back around saying that guy didn't do it. And that's when I lost it. And I said, get the warranty work done, Skippy, and I'll eat the freaking trim. Just order it. Well, I called Ford because he was condescending.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I called Ford, and they said there was nothing they can do because they were all independently owned and operated. And I told Ford, I said, we're in the second poorest county in the second poorest state in West Virginia, and that's the only dealership in Logan County.
Yeah,
or in this county.
Yeah.
And they wrote up something, and then I sent them an email that just roasted them. And I waited until 10 minutes before closing. And he goes to the service manager, and he said, oh, I was getting ready to call you. I was like, sure you were.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So it's just.
Well, you had a lot going on. For everybody in general, like the Mercury up in the sky in Gemini was in the T square with the North and the South node. So the communication, right?
Yeah.
Now, what's interesting, I got your chart on the screen. I don't know if you're looking at it, but
Yeah.
if you look at your chart, your 8th house cusp line at 22 degrees, well, that's also being squared right now. So that's your 2nd and your 8th house, where the nodes at 23 in Pisces and 23 in Virgo are squaring your 2nd and your 8th house cusp line at 22. Well, Mercury was right there at 21.
Oh.
You follow?
Yeah.
And so there was actually a lot of other things in your chart too. If you look down here, you have like Jupiter and Juno in your 4th house of emotions. And they are at the opposite of your Mars at 16. So look at where the sun was. The sun was sitting at 14 in Gemini. So you had a lot of T squares too. In addition to what I initially talked about, which was the Venus and the Mars trining and Eris and all that was down here, the angry energy, And here's your Chiron too, right? You got your Chiron at 24. Here's Chiron at 25. Eris is angry, getting trined by Mars. Really fiery ass energy. They're
Oh,
lucky.
yeah.
They're lucky that
Well,
you
yeah, they made
you
me cry, and I didn't cry. I don't cry,
yeah.
and I was just envisioning pushing that car right through the
Yeah.
dealership window. That's damn Skippy. He's lucky.
I'm saying, like, you felt like you were pushed so far that you were gonna do
Yeah.
something quite serious. And
Yeah.
it's like,
Yeah.
and then when they have, when you feel that way, I would imagine it's like, holy shit, how did I let it escalate? How did that escalate? And what, to get to that point. Um,
Well, I knew why, because he gave me so many bullshit stories,
yeah,
and I
yeah,
can't stand bullshit
yeah, yeah. You
or
had a lot going
excuses.
on.
That's what it was. It was excuses, and just get it fixed.
Yeah, and I completely totally feel for you, like, because especially for females with automobiles, it's one of the things I wish I could live without because I think we're just automatically, oh, it's a female,
Yep.
you know,
Yeah.
she's not going to know anything anyway. But the good news is that now that has a lot of that has moved out of the way because, well, here's the thing. Mercury and Jupiter are like exact right now. Mercury's at 28, Jupiter's at 29, but that Mercury's not sitting on your 8th house cusp line anymore. But the nodes are still angling, right?
Uh-huh.
They're still stress and tension to your 2nd house, 22 degrees of Saggy, my values, my plans about the future, and my travel plans, of course.
Mhm.
And this didn't help. This
Oh.
huge, this didn't help. Not at all. But yeah, so the nodes are going to be angling that. And it's, it's not going to be forever
No.
because they actually start moving. They don't sit at the 23 degrees, which is kind of great. So you've got about another week. You've got about another week for them to, I would say, like, maybe 14 days at the most, where they're going to pull away enough from your 2nd and your 8th house where you'll at least feel like you can breathe. So you're talking like the 3rd week of June. You should feel that stress and tension should start to loosen up a little.
Okay.
Yeah.
'Cause, at this point, I just thought it was menopausal, but
Oh, well, there was a lot going on. There was a lot going on. Yeah, there was a lot happening in your chart. And then a lot of things are gonna move. You're
Yeah.
then gonna have the sun and Mercury and Jupiter in your 8th house in Cancer energy. So, but that's a few weeks out or a couple weeks out, and the 8th house, because you got Cancer there. Yeah, there can be some emotions and things about the past and the wounds and hopefully some healing energy because it's the 8th house. But the 8th house, they say death and taxes.
Yeah.
But Jupiter is supposed to bring us some really beautiful energy in Cancer.
But yeah,
She said, but yeah.
we'll see.
Well, it can be tricky in the 8th because there's just a lot of history there and a lot of trauma and tragedies in the 8th house too.
Yeah.
But it's to provide a healing. It's to provide a healing. And we have a lot of energy. You have a lot of energy in Pisces in general. So, it a lot, your moon, in the 12th, you have a lot of water energy. So it creates a supportive trine for all your
Good.
other water signs.
Okay.
Yeah. So, I think you'll be fine. You're always just rolling with the punches anyway. So that's just like what you need.
Damn Skippy, right?
Yeah. What else can you do, right? What else can any of us do? We just got to get through it.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Sound good? But no, yeah, you had a lot going on. So
that wasn't just a.
I wouldn't call it menopausal. No.
No,
Absolutely
it's
not. I wouldn't. You take your car in and there's
astrological.
an additional thing broken? What the hell?
Yeah,
And you're at the goddamn dealership.
yeah,
You would expect that maybe possibly from I don't know who, but you supposedly wouldn't expect it from there. But anyway, I just
yeah,
that's why for me, I'm a big believer in when the consumer doesn't have a lot of options, that's when we're screwed.
yeah,
Because then if you only have one location or one connection of okay, these are the people that fix it. If there's no competition, well, then they know that.
right.
They know they can do whatever they want. And that's when I feel like people, they have us over the waterfall in a barrel and it's like, "Oh, well, hell no."
Yeah,
Because it
and
feels
that's
like
the way it
we're
is here.
trapped.
Yeah, that's the way it is here. You got
Oh man, see that part of that would drive me nuts. That would drive me bonkers.
well, yeah, we're 52 miles from the nearest Starbucks, and Starbucks
Yeah.
has
Well, I
civilization.
don't yeah, well, it's really it comes down to the car thing, because
Mhm.
the Starbucks, I'm not I don't frequent any of that kind of
No,
stuff
but that
ever.
just symbolizes civilization,
Yeah.
Starbucks
Yeah, I
does.
get what you're saying, but when it comes to the automobile thing, that would be hard.
Yeah, that
That
is.
would be hard.
That's the
It
only
would be
place.
frustrating. It would be infuriating for sure.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate your time. Thank you.
Yes, you are welcome.
All
You are
right.
welcome. Let us know when you get your last person.
All right. If you find
Yep.
somebody, let me know.
Yeah, and she's got a little oh, your YouTube channel
Yeah.
has like a little refresher of what the trip's gonna be about, and it has like a map on it and everything.
Yeah. Yeah.
All
It
right.
does.
Well, if anybody's interested, I'm just saying for anybody. So it's the name here, Christy. Just
Yeah.
click on that and it'll take you to her for anybody who's curious.
Yep.
All right, amiga. Thank you.
Appreciate your time.
Yep. You're
Bye.
welcome. Take care. All right. She's already gone. That was quick. She does not hesitate. All right. So here we go. We are moving along. Yeah, I imagine everybody here could probably tell one of them stories. Maybe not identical to Christie's, but a story where communication was a thing. All right. So after Christy, teamwork's passing. So magically intuitive. Again, don't think I have any digits for magically intuitive. Let me go check the chat here and see what we're doing. Going to the next person because I don't. I'm just double checking. Oh, magically intuitive said I put it in the email. All right, let me go take a peek at that real quick here. Oh Lord, there's a lot of emails all of a sudden. Okay, here we go. So magically intuitive. Does the email have the name magically intuitive? That's where I would need to know the connection because you aren't the only email here. And yeah. Here we go. Magically intuitive. How do I know? Yeah. Let's see. All right, I got a name here. It doesn't tell me that you're magically intuitive. It's not a name I recognize. It's not a name in the chat. So I'm going to go on to the next one. All right, Donna, I see year. Zazu, I see year. Donna, yep. Who is this? This is another person who is not in the chat. All right, so we got 2 emails from names that are not in the chat. So I don't recognize you, that means. Okay, so magically intuitive. All right, guys, here's the deal. I see your name here, but I don't see that same name in my email. You follow? And I have you're not the only person that emails the birth digits. So the email that you sent has to say, "Hello, this is magically intuitive." I have to be able to match it all up. Oh, got it. Thank you, Lou. Didn't see that. It's somewhere in the chat. All right, let me go back and see if that is a thing that I got. No, it's not that one. Okay, I got it now. Thank you. Thank you, Lou. All right, so let's take a quick look here and get this in here real quick for you. All right, so have you seen your chart before? So we got a May 25th birthday. All right, and the Bahamas. All right. So let's get this up here real quick. And do you want, I was going to say, do you want the link? Let me see. Let's take a peek at this. I got to take a look at this chart so that I can do 2 + 2 with it. So things can make sense. Let's move along here and get this up here on the screen for you. All right. All right, so magically intuitive. Let me give you this. I don't know if you want the link to chit chat or to talk. I'm not sure, but I'm putting the link here for you. That link is for magically intuitive. If you don't feel comfortable grabbing the link, then don't worry about it. And I have a Taurus rising at 18 degrees. That's the chart that I have come up with here on the screen. Let's get this here for you. Yeah. Present. All right, we got to do a new one. And there it is. All right, magically intuitive. There you go. Okay. So here's what we've got. I've got somebody who grabbed the link, but it's not magically intuitive. So for the person that grabbed the link, yep. If your name's not magically intuitive, there's an order. The chat is the cue. All right. So magically intuitive, where are you at? Did you say if this is you, Taurus rising 18 degrees? Yes, excellent. All right. All right, very good. All right. So Taurus rising at 18 degrees, really? Okay. Well, what do you know? Look at that. A Gemini sun, 3 degrees. And there's that Taurus rising. Venus in the 12th house in Taurus. Ooh, moon in fiery ass Aries. Okay. Well, then you kind of probably had a little bit of a doozy, huh? Well, you had Venus there recently, and then like you've got, anyway. So for you in your chart, we've got the sun and the moon all together here in the rising sign. So having a moon in the 12th, well, first of all, that Aries energy in the 12th, the ego, the hidden ego, right? Because it's in the 12th, so it's hidden. And sometimes 12th house is really difficult with Aries in terms of being able to set boundaries because it's 12th house. And what's crazy about that is when we're Aries energy, it's about me, right? But if I don't know who me is, because you've got quite a bit of Aries in the 12th. So my identity, how I identify, right? Even my appearance, like these things can change with Pisces energy. And Pisces 12th house has a hard time usually setting boundaries. And so that can be kind of a tricky thing sometimes with Aries energy, until we understand, okay, this is who I am, and until we get a good understanding of our identity, literally. Having your moon in Aries, though, is actually a help, I think, because when we have a moon in Aries, other than Aries energy and being all fired up, the moon there makes me like it's emotionally satisfying to do things that are about me. My freedom, my independence, freedom to take action when I want, how I want, wherever I want. Freedom is a big deal, being independent and being a leader in some way. So having the moon there means that makes those things emotionally satisfying for you. But I would imagine there might have been times, especially since you have fiery Eris, right? Eris is angry. This is feminine Mars energy. You have Eris right next to your moon. So when your moon gets triggered, some folks might, there might be a little bit of this going on. And it doesn't mean like literally a physical battle, but Aries is a damn soldier. It is a soldier. And so, yeah, 12th house institutional energy. Sometimes that happens. Sometimes people end up fighting, for the military and stuff. But it would probably be hard with 12th house energy. It's a very sensitive energy in general. You got Venus there. It looks like it says a Venus at 10 degrees. Ooh, like boss energy with the values and the money and banking and income, food, earth, animals, planets, all the beautiful things in nature, Venus, beauty, big time. 12th house, some of your values might be hidden. Could also be like across the pond. It's all that 12th house energy. It's also love and desire, right? Love and desire for somebody who's far away or, long distance relationships, hidden desires, 12th house with the Venus there, hidden money, 12th house, Taurus energy, hidden identity, moon, also mom energy and home and family. Yeah, that's important. Across the pond, again, anytime people have the moon in the 12th, there's ancestry, there's history. We think of childhood, we think of nurturing, right? Like I said, the emotional stability and the nurturing stuff. So I'm curious with this fiery energy you have. What happens is Aries in the 12th, sometimes our own ego is hidden from us. We're not really aware of it until we get fired up about something and like we do something, we say something, and it was just like, it might even have shocked yourself along with others because it can get really feisty, very impatient energy, very much wants to be first. All right, a moon in Gemini makes us quite social. I'm sorry, sun in Gemini. We're going to be communicators, and you have it at 3 degrees. Holy shit, the communication degree. So this can kind of be a gift in terms of talking, but this is also social media because it's in your first house. So it just might be how you appear, may not necessarily be who you are. But having the sun in Gemini in general, a thirsty learner, really curious energy. You even have a Mercury freaking retrograde in Gemini. Yikes. Yikes. A Mercury retrograde in Gemini. Oh, Lord. Mercury rules Gemini. In a retrograde, there's a lot of internal thinking, right? Especially a lot of Virgo. Anybody with a Mercury ruled sign, they often talk about how the mind doesn't shut off. A lot of looping type of, like a record player type of thing where the thoughts just kind of keep going around and around, or it's hard to go to sleep type of thing. Lots of information and communication, writing. Gemini is writing as well as, the vlogger and all that stuff. So second house means this is your income, or it can be your income. This energy can be scattered. It can be scattered. It can lack focus. So Gemini is all about business. It's sales and teaching. Merchants always thinking about different ways to make money, having multiple avenues of income streams coming through. Gemini and Mercury and a Mercury retrograde is there I don't know. I'm curious if you were able to, I don't know, that some people who have a Mercury retrograde in their charts say that when Mercury is in a retrograde, like up in the sky, that it actually helps them. Like that's like their power time because it's a Mercury they understand. Ooh, your Mars is jumping out at me. You're going to have a Mars return. Holy shit. Okay. You got Mars at 29 degrees in Leo. Leo energy. Okay. They say 29 is that billionaire degree. Well, you've got it at 29 in the fourth house of action and emotions. Very, Mars and Leo mixed together can be very physical, very athletic, even. But definitely like I'm the boss type of energy, that 29 degrees. Let me see if you got anything angling. Oh, it squares your Pluto. Holy shit. Okay, there's a lot of power with this. Woo. There's a lot of power here. This Pluto exactly squaring that Mars, this amps up that Mars. That increases Mars's Pluto having that square. That's some strong stuff you got. Yeah, really strong stuff. You also have a 0 degrees Uranus. So you got a Uranus training Uranus coming. Whoa. Wow. Talk about different, new, and exciting. It's going to affect your beliefs. May have a lot to do with traveling, but friends and group energy, spirituality and religion, philosophy on life, higher education, because you're going to have this beautiful trine when Uranus. Yep, this Uranus is going to get here. I know this is going to look really wacky, but y'all see where I'm going. It's a sloppy Uranus. Yeah, Uranus is going to be here, and you're going to have a really powerful Uranus trine Uranus. So it's your physical body, your ascendant, Uranus going into the Gemini energy, trining your natal Uranus, the 9th house. Communication, but the mind is activated. And group energy is activated, but the beliefs about your future. Higher education, I might be going back to school, or I might be going to school. Let me go over there and peek at that. 1995. Yeah. Uranus that goes to the Gemini. Gemini energy is learning. Some say that it's learning a trade even. But it can be, to me, it's more aligned with people talking and speaking and teaching and sales. It's like white collar jobs type of thing. So we're learning something. It doesn't mean like here in America, we say trade as in like, I don't know, I work with my hands type of thing. Gemini is more, white collar job stuff. And Uranus is like boss energy. Like I'm the authority. I'm the boss. So, this isn't going to be that far away in time for you. You're going to have this energy soon. It's in a few weeks, and you'll be feeling it before then. It's going to get activated, and maybe that's why you're here tonight, because Uranus rules astrology. Yeah, and you've got 0 degrees Uranus in Aquarius. Now you also have a Pandora's box right next to it, and that can kind of it's kind of referred to like a can of worms. Where you kind of have that conversation, that communication, or a friend, and then we kind of feel like, oh damn, why did I even do that? Why did I say that? Why did I go there? Why did I open up that can of worms? I opened it up, and it just, like we stick our foot in our mouth type of thing, or we kind of, it's almost like a regret. Right. But, something possibly in group energy, very unique beliefs is the 9th house for you with that Aquarius energy there. Very unique beliefs, very different, and very much about freedom, very much about not being part of the crowd, or I should say not being you're part of a group, but you're not following the group, right? 0 degrees is no one's going to tell me what to do. Very much about rebellious energy, totally rebellious energy, highly rebellious energy. Um, and having that Mars at 29 with all that Pluto amped up to it, if the emotions, I'm thinking, holy crap, you got to be, yeah, a force to be reckoned with at times. Absolutely. Holy moly. You even have the North Node at 5 degrees in Scorpio. Now, that 5 degrees is also like kind of like a boss energy. You have a lot of power in your chart. This is kind of wild because this is this boss energy, Leo energy, entertainment, authority figure, because it's like sun energy, but it's also children, fun, joy, and creativity in your 6th house. Yeah. Really, really, really fascinating, powerfully intense energy. So hopefully your communication skills are developed. And if they're not, Uranus is going to help you with that. Like Uranus can be shocking and surprising in terms of communication, but in Gemini, it gets along well with Gemini energy in terms of self-awareness and raising our, not only our intuition, but where we're expanding our brain and we are literally lighting up new neural pathways in our brain. You see the neurons, the brain, the nerves, the Gemini and Mercury and Uranus energy actually get along really well and work together really well. So there's a lot of like activation that can go on. And so, yeah, we could even, our brain changes and switches up and we learn a new communication style even. So exciting times for you. Very, very exciting times for you. The Uranus and Taurus, you know what? You're talking about Jupiter. Your gaining weight would have been a Jupiter thing. You had Jupiter in your 1st house in Gemini. Uranus is not necessarily about gaining weight. Jupiter, though, definitely, Jupiter adds to and expands in whatever sign it's in. So Jupiter, now I realize Jupiter's already moved, right? Because Jupiter is now about to go into Cancer. So you're saying that, yeah, if you were to look, you probably saw that Jupiter, unless you're like, oh, hell no, when Uranus went into Taurus, it kind of activated something different altogether for you. Uranus trine Uranus, it will shake things up. It's about shocks and surprises. So if it changes things in your mind, because it's in your 1st house, there can be some new and different things, new and different routines possibly. Let me see here. Your Virgo's down there. If you're willing to make changes, because that's what Uranus wants you to do. Remember, a chart is just a chart. You have the free will. You have the power in your hands. And this energy says, yeah, I need to do something different. So embrace the different, because it's going to be connecting with your natal Uranus. So embrace the different. And you have to figure out what are the steps you have to take, what are the steps you have to do. This Mars here should help you to maybe do some things that, if you're passionate about them, which is what Mars represents, having fun, being active, with a Pluto trining your Mars, yeah, you should have the opportunity to make that happen. You're having a Mars coming home to your natal Mars, which means a new 2-year cycle will begin with your body. So Mars is the body in the 1st house. And you have to, I guess, make some choices or make some changes. But with a Mars connecting with your Mars, you have a new 2-year cycle in front of you. And it's up to you to make those changes. But the fact that you asked it, and your natal Mars and the transiting Mars in the sky, they rule your 1st house, you see? So if you're ready for this new change in the energy that Uranus brings you, which is disruptions, shocks and surprises, and you're like, yes, this is what I've been waiting for. I need a change. Because you even have Humea in Libra, like at 0 degrees, and Humea restores something. It's like a rebirthing process. It's in Libra, which is ruled by Venus. So Venus likes all the good stuff, the sweets, she likes good food, period. Butter, she's the butter queen. So, just from this quick look, you're welcome to come back anytime, and we can take another look at it for you, and to see if there's something more specifically lining up for you that we should consider. Interesting. Yeah, there might be something else. All right. I hope that gives you a little bit of insight. Let me see what we got going on here. Update. Okay, we got an update. Look at this. I got an update. This is great. Steffi G was here. Thank you, Lou. Okay, all right. Let me go find that other list. All right, I got the other list. So let me see. Oh, you have a lot of updates apparently, huh? All right. Yeah, Donna's. Okay, so let me go find the. All right, let me move along from Magically Intuitive and see who I'm going to next here. Okay, so Angela's passing. So we're on Donna Marie next, that means, correct? Okay, so Donna Marie, you are up. Okay, let me get this off the screen and let me go like that. Okay, let me get Donna Marie in here. Let me get her chart on here. All right, so Donna, what are we? You already sent me. What am I looking at? Here's the link for you. Am I looking at your chart? Let me see. Let me get rid of this chart real quick here. Let me go back to that email that you sent. You sent me another email, though, I think, today, matter of fact. So I don't know if you were. Yeah. It was a different birth time. All right. We're going to get Donna in here. I think she's here in the green room there. Let's go see. Yeah, this is your chart. That's what I thought. Okay. All right. Donna, let's see, where are you at? She's here. Let's get her in here. Hello, hello.
Hello.
How are you? I'm good. How's it going?
It has been busy,
Yeah, I'm sure.
to say the least.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very busy time for you. So what am I checking out on your chart exactly? What did you want to look at?
Well, if you see that my Cancer is 0 degrees Sun, which is which happens to go along with Jupiter right now. My moon is in Sagittarius and my rising is Taurus. So I'm thinking there's a lot going on.
Well, yeah, you're going to have Jupiter and Mercury coming up on your sun.
Mm-hmm.
Mercury's going to get there first. So when we look at this chart, let me see. Did I get it on the screen? Yeah, I did. Okay, great. All right, let me get this here like this. All right, so in your mind, okay, so you see, here's the thing. You also have your north node. I can't expand this chart, so that kind of, but you know what? Let me do this instead so that I can real quick. Because it's the Jupiter that is the focus. So we already know. Kind of like what the main focus is, and we can just kind of focus on that.
Yeah.
All right. So with that said, this is what Donna's concern is. Because, well, you know, here, that's funny, right? You had Jupiter in Gemini, right?
Yep.
And now you're going to have Jupiter going into, it's still going to be in your third house.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, your third house doesn't end until 16 degrees. Now, I'm saying that because having Jupiter in Gemini meant the busy mind, lots of communications, right? We can even be busy like with coworkers and siblings and neighbors, thinking in the mind and sales and talking and the social media stuff right there. You know, you got the Venus and the Mercury together.
Yes.
And then that 27 degrees is the Mercury freaking degree. That's the mind again. So now Jupiter touched on that, and that's probably when things kind of went for you. I would imagine. Well, probably when all these latter planets started getting triggered. But now you're going to have Jupiter here, still in your third house. So that's still Gemini energy. That's still Mercury energy. You follow? But now the
Yes.
moon's involved because it's Cancer. So family and home. But what I love about this is because it's the moon there, it makes communication, third house, really sincere and authentic and emotionally satisfying and nurturing. So Jupiter is going to expand on all of that for you. And because the sun is there, it's you expressing. And the promise of Jupiter in Cancer is a depth of intuition, a depth of emotional intellect, because we combine spiritual Jupiter and wisdom, Jupiter's wisdom, with Cancer's nurturing ability, with Cancer's ability to communicate in ways where people feel like they're really making a connection with somebody. This is actually, I think, really nice.
So would this be the good time that I'm launching my YouTube channel?
I would think so. The sun
Perfect.
is somebody who's talking, who's expressing, who's shining. It's the sun. I'm shining. I'm standing out. People are communicating. And your north node is part of this too. Your north node's at 2 degrees. So your node is part of this. And it's Mercury and Jupiter coming here together. And that is definitely social media, Mercury. You follow?
Yeah. This is
So now let me kind of pull over to there and take a pull. Okay, so your moon is at 2, and the Cancer and so it creates what we call an irritation. It's a quincunx. Yeah, because it's the Jupiter and the Mercury down there with your north node and your sun connecting to your moon. Now, here's where things get complicated, okay? And this is for all of us because we have Saturn and Neptune sitting over here in Aries at 1 degrees, at almost 1 and 2 degrees, okay? So what does that do with the 1? And that's a cardinal sign, right? It's Aries at 1 and 2 degrees, and that's cardinal energy. So Aries being cardinal squares. But here's the question. You already lived through Saturn and Neptune squaring your sun. You follow? So that's not new energy for you.
no, it's continual.
Yeah. Well, yeah, right. I mean, for people who have something in the low degrees at Aries, it's like, okay, this is a long process because they're going to retrograde and they're going to come back over the same spot again, right? In 2026. So this isn't like a one and done thing. This is a long process at the 1 and 2 degrees here in Aries. So Saturn is long-term goals
Mhm.
and the not communication, commitment, the other C word, the long-term commitment. So with Neptune there, that can be institutional energy. Now remember, this is all in her 12th house, right? You've got Aries in your 12th. So there might be, I mean, I'm not sure if that's going to cause you any uncomfortableness, but Jupiter is at its height. It's at its the most auspicious thing being in Cancer energy. It's like the most beneficial. So there just might be some hurdles, but I'm like in my mind thinking, and when anyone starts a YouTube channel, there's lots of hurdles.
Oh yeah. Oh God, yeah.
Yeah.
It's like,
And if you've already been, messing around with it before physically actually literally launching it like day one, then you already know what
Mhm.
I'm talking about.
Oh, there's so much to it. Yeah.
There is. There is. I mean, obviously, over time, the more familiar you get with it, it's not as awkward or daunting or whatnot. But it's an experiment, and so as you go through it, you just see what works and what works better, right? And then
Mhm.
because it's a square. So the Jupiter is kind of a fast mover, though, and so is Mercury. So I'm not overly concerned, but because they both go to like the 1 almost 2 degrees, that means they square your north node. So it challenges this plan that you have for the future. Now, yes, it's in your 3rd house. That north node is in your 3rd house. And for myself, I have some very similar energies like this where I mean, I'll be damned sometimes. I'm doing what I can do and it seems to be, it just seems to be helpful and pleasing for others and works. But at the same time, there's always like this element that is always stressing, whether it's the internet goes down or a device or my phone, like whatever it is, there's always some challenge. I can record
Mhm.
things and the shit literally disappears. Literally. I record it and half of the video, the volume just for some reason disappeared. You know what I'm like? Just
Yeah.
crazy shit like that. The 3rd house is the social media stuff. And so those are things that may happen with this strong square from Saturn and Neptune, because Neptune can make things disappear, right? It can make
Okay.
it confusing. So these are the things I would expect because this is you communicating. This is you standing out and shining. It's in your 3rd house. You follow? So
Yes. Yep.
finding your tribe and finding your community is Cancer energy. I
Mhm.
mean, it's family too, of course, but we have an extended family. It's not just our blood family. We connect with those who we emotionally connect with, vibrationally connect with. The history and the past is all there too. But I'm not overly concerned. It just might seem a little rough at first because the Mercury and the Jupiter will be getting that square from Neptune and Saturn. But remember, Mercury moves fast. So now this connection does create the quincunx to your moon. So there is a lot of moon energy involved here because it's moon here and Cancer energy over there. So relationships, significant one-on-one relationships, because we're talking 7th house.
Mhm.
You see, something with your values comes up again because it's 2 degrees in the moon and it's 2 degrees with your north node.
Mhm.
Desire, values, income, banking. We think 2 degrees, the love, the money. It's Venus energy. It wants things to be pleasant, to be beautiful, right? So when we're communicating, when we're relating, whatever it is, there just might be some details where you just might, you might have to just kind of realize there might be some uncomfortable stuff. But when it comes to having a YouTube channel, unless you have like a different location, then most people are like, especially when they're beginning, they're working out of the house.
Yes. Yep.
Okay, well, this is the moon in the second house, so whoever the significant partner is,
Mm-hmm.
whether it's a marriage partner, whether it's a business partner, like there's some uncomfortableness here
Mm-hmm.
because it's
Not
a
much time.
coincidence energy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not much time for each other, for sure.
Well, whatever it is, you know what it is,
Mhm.
and so there just might be that to contend with, okay? Because at the same time, though, you have Saturn and Neptune trining your moon. You see, so even though you have the quincunx from Jupiter and Cancer, you have Saturn and Neptune trining that moon. Okay. And so when there's that nice trine that comes in, it's it's very fiery energy, but it is thinking about the long haul and the long term and the seriousness of things, in terms of the relationship. And so, yeah, because that's what Saturn is. But Saturn can bring restrictions. So to me, the bigger picture would probably be when these two start retrograding. Because when they start retrograding, they actually might affect your moon more. Because the moon
Okay.
is very internal energy. So there might be some of it where you're just like, gosh, I know I wanted to start this right now. And again, I'm not saying don't. I would go ahead and do it, because if you usually, anybody that you talk to, it's our expectations. If anything, we might have to be like, okay, I'm starting, but that doesn't mean that I'm committing. I don't know what your schedule of and it does. I don't know your uploading schedule, but you might bite off more than you can chew. Meaning, dial the scheduling back a little bit or something. There just might be some tweaking that you have to do, and just realize that the best time to start is as soon as you have some content ready to go, and then just start, and then just work with it slowly but surely along as you go. Because if you're looking to do and to carry this through, like for, after the 9 to 5 type of thing, then any time is a good time to start.
Yeah, well, I do have the 9 to 5 still, and it's been very demanding. So this other stuff has been like getting up at 5:30 on weekends every day.
Wow.
And working on this. So
you've been committing a lot of time already then.
Yes, I have. Yeah.
Well, then that's good, because you're quite serious about it, and that's Saturn. It makes us take care of the duties and the responsibilities and the commitments. It's work. Saturn represents the work. But we're thinking about the long term, and that's the key with Saturn energy. Always think about the long haul, the long term, and what's best for the long term. And you're juggling, and it's hard. It is. It's not easy. That's a it's a big thing what you're trying to do.
Yeah, it's trying to keep the 9 to 5, because I'm going to retire in the next, I'm thinking 5 years, anywhere from 2 to 5 years.
Yeah, you're trying to get a jump on this. Yeah.
So I'm trying to be, solid in doing, the readings and etc. that I do, and and getting people following and getting readings and that kind of stuff. So I'm trying to do, but it's like really pushing me this year to do it.
So you feel the push.
I feel the push. Yeah, it's like it's time to do it now.
Yeah. With Jupiter going in your third house, if you don't do it, you'll just have to tell me, like, well, how did you not do it then? Because it's Jupiter going, I mean, I know it's already there in your third house, but did you feel like in the last month that push was even more for you? Like, okay, this is, because Jupiter can be like this great teacher in terms of giving us like the wisdom, like, okay, this is, I don't know how to explain it. There's something really wonderful about, normally people call, like the Gemini energy, the teacher, but the Jupiter energy really kind of, I don't know, it kind of gives us the total package in a way in our mind. Instead of like the bits and pieces and the little details, it kind of gives us all of it together in our mind. Like, okay, this is how I'm going to do this. And so yeah, it going through your third house, and your sun and your north node being activated, I would say, yeah, just go ahead and do it.
Yeah, it's been literally pushing me this last month.
Yeah.
I would say the last month to 6 weeks, it's been, you got to do it, and you're doing it now.
That, yeah,
And it's
that
like,
Jupiter got
yeah,
really close to your third house,
yeah,
third
and it
began
was,
at 27, and that was that.
yeah, and it's like literally pushing me out of bed on a weekend, on my day off, and I'm out
Yeah.
of bed,
Yeah.
and at 5:30, and I'm like, I'm doing this, and it's like there, yeah, and
Yeah. Yeah.
putting
So,
that dedication in.
yeah. And you can see how there might be that stress too, because the Cancer energy, once Jupiter is there, again, the Jupiter energy is supposed to just be so wonderful. And I'm like, okay, I can't wait to see how this shows up. It can be very protective, meaning we can kind of do some things that we don't even know how we were able to do it. It kind of gives us that protective bubble. In Cancer energy, we think of the mom energy with her babies, when her babies are born, and how a mother will basically do anything for her children, and many times able to do things that are like, holy crap, how did the mother do that? When they speak about like a mother's love. And so Jupiter can bring that energy to it, and your sun and your ability to express, and the the intuition and the empathic capabilities should be enhanced at this time. So I think it would be a mistake to not start at this time.
Yeah,
Here's the
I
other thing: Jupiter is not in Cancer very long. It goes through Cancer pretty quickly. It does a retrograde, but we have it like almost exactly for 12 months, and that's it. Sometimes it goes to 13, 14 months in some signs. Boy, it goes from June to June, and it's over. So I would not waste any time utilizing Jupiter and Cancer in the third house.
Okay, yeah. And funny enough, next week or this week coming up, all of the kids and the grandkids, and we're all getting together on Thursday and Friday.
Oh, family. Yeah.
Family. So,
Yeah.
and this has been rare for all of us to be together. So, yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
And
I understand.
yeah. And grandson's doing good, actually. He's
Oh, good. Thank you
holding,
for mentioning
yeah.
it. I didn't know if I should
Yeah.
ask. I'm like, oh,
Yeah,
God,
no, yeah,
mention
no,
this.
he's
Pulled
in and out of
through.
hospital, but yeah,
He pulled through.
yeah, he's got
That
the
is,
best care you can ask for.
yeah, that is such great news. I'm so glad to hear that, because boy, that chart looked rough,
Yeah, he's
but
got
he made it out.
yeah, he's got really really doting parents that are right on top of it, and
Oh,
like,
good.
yeah, so there is no, and he's at Children's Hospital,
Yeah.
so it's one of the top hospitals that you couldn't ask for anything better. So I'm
You
feeling
couldn't
very
ask for more
blessed.
care. Yeah.
Yeah,
Nice. I'm so glad you're in Canada, not in America.
yeah, right.
I'm
Because I
just
mean,
saying, it's just the reality of it. It's what it is.
the amount of money that we would have had to pay for his care, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. So
absolutely. The other thing too, real quickly,
yeah,
is as Jupiter quickly goes through the Cancer energy, it doesn't start retrograding till the later degrees. So you're going to have Jupiter hitting your north node, and because it hits the north node, it's your north node and your Saturn trine. Well, that means Jupiter and Saturn are trining in your chart. Yeah. Pisces energy, the spiritual work, the highly intuitive work. Absolutely. Absolutely.
yeah. It's I'm telling you, I'm getting spirit talking to me all the time. It's like, it's a little bit crazy.
Well, then just remember, as Jupiter goes through your Cancer energy, it's going to amp that up more. So you gotta find ways to stay sane with that. How about that?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's draw the boundaries and know what and that might be part of part of some of the struggle, because I would expect that this, maybe that's the stress and the tension. That might be part of it. If you can imagine, if that's stressful, well, if you're getting up really early, but what if you couldn't sleep throughout the night? What if you're being disturbed by spirit and you're like up?
Yeah.
Right?
Well, it's literally, they're saying, get moving on this. You've got to do this. And I'm like, okay.
That sounds like Saturn talking to you.
Yeah.
Seriously.
It sounds like my mom.
And responsibility. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
it makes sense though, because like I just said, you've got a Saturn that's in Pisces, and it's a retrograde Saturn, which we tend to, it tends to be more of an internal duty and responsibility with this work, literally, because it's Pisces. So the connection to your North Node in Cancer energy, I mean, I'm just glad to know that you're utilizing this energy and you're utilizing it in this way. I'm really, really glad about that for you, because I think, it can be helpful, and it's good for you.
Mm-hmm.
It can be helpful for others. And remember, the 7th house, the partnerships, and you have Scorpio there. So it's healing partnerships, significant one-on-one relationships. And when someone does a reading for somebody, that's that 7th house energy. That's a specific one-on-one, and you got a lot of energy there.
Yeah.
Other than Neptune, you have Pallas Athena and Juno connected at 19 and 20. It can be very psychic energy, but healing energy for sure.
And that's part of it, is that it's part of the healing. And I've been, even like, I went to the tea house and got a tea leaf reading, and then they asked me if I wanted a job. Would I come in and do readings there? I'm like, it's like, I'm still working full time, people.
Well, see, there you go. Well, see, that's the other thing too. Cancer energy really puts us with the public. So, whenever you have time in your schedule, the main thing is to keep yourself sane, but there will be time for you to go ahead and to get yourself out there where you are working with the public, because 3rd house energy, this is my local community in the 3rd house. It's not just the local community online, but it's literally, like you just said, you went to the tea house. I don't know how local that is for you. But it's a good example of connecting with the public, and working within the neighborhood.
Yeah.
You follow?
Yeah, exactly. It's 45 minutes away, but I mean, it's considered close to home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're not getting in an airplane. You're not, it's a car ride.
That's right.
And so you consider that like your community?
Local.
Yeah. Sometimes, depending upon where you are in Canada.
Yeah.
That is your local community, 45 minutes away.
Yeah, it's still on the island. So it's, 45 minutes away. And they're like, she's asked me for a few years now. And she told me 4 years ago that I would, or 2 years ago, in 4 years, I would retire and I would start working there. And then I saw her just recently, and I hadn't seen her for 2 years. And she said, you're coming to work here in 2 years. And I was like, and my girlfriend, who's from out of town across Canada, was there. And she said, she told you that 2 years ago that it was 4 years. And she goes, her timing is right on. So, and there's no way she could remember who we were, because we've, but she just picked it up. So
right.
That's the thing. It's like, is this the right time for me to start doing this? Because I think I will be.
Well, I'm wondering why you're questioning it. That's what.
Yeah. Well,
that's what I'm. Why is she questioning this? That's what I'm wondering.
Because it's like, should I be concentrating on my 9 to 5, or should I start be looking at, I'm going to be now filtering myself out of full-time work because I'm going to retire. I mean, I am going to be at one point. So, well,
that's why, that's where it becomes tricky. because we're juggling, the regular 9 to 5 and then this other thing. And it is hard. So
Yeah.
I guess what you're going to do is you're going to find out, you're going to see, because you just have to see.
Yeah.
You have to see what it's going to do for you in terms of, can it supplement the income you currently have right now?
Mm-hmm.
Because that's the
Yeah.
answer for you. If it would, of course, you would just go ahead and do that, right? But then again, even if it supplements the income, maybe there's benefits with the current job that you have that you absolutely can't get with reading,
Doing
yeah.
readings.
It's
Yeah.
just, it's just strictly cash. So, there's perks and benefits to both things, being your own boss.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. There's like, and
Absolutely. But you'll figure it out as you go along.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It was like, is because when I started hearing that Jupiter was going into Cancer, and then there was something in Sagittarius with the moon, and I'm like, and something in Taurus, and I'm like, those are all my placements.
Mhm.
I think, like, if the universe is not yelling at me, I think it is.
Yeah, like I said, why are you doubting this? Why are you questioning it? Like, as to, even though I'm hearing do it now, why are you saying, but should I do it now?
Yeah, I've put it into, I've put the wheels on it. So I'm definitely, I have dedicated myself, which I haven't done before. I've been thinking about it for a few years, but now I'm doing it, and it just like, and for me to get up on a weekend,
Yeah.
both
Yeah.
days at 5:30, like, I'm up and I'm doing, and I'm working on it, and I'm
Yeah.
thinking, yeah. And so it's been a while, and I think it's still going to be another month before I actually launch.
Well,
Yeah.
what's best for you as far as the timing.
Yep.
So if you don't think you're going to launch for another month, well, the Mercury will have moved on. In a month's time, Jupiter is going to be. Jupiter moves kind of fast. It's kind of wild
Mm-hmm.
how fast it moves. I was shocked, but when you look at July 7th, we already have Jupiter at 6 degrees. So it's exactly trining. That's, it's funny you're saying that, because it'll look at her descendant, guys. Her descendant is 6 degrees of Scorpio. So Jupiter will be trining this then. It brings some ease in partnerships, beneficial partnerships, but there's also a connection here for the healing possibilities, a connection for a lot of psychic energy, of course, but
Mm-hmm.
also the one-on-one relationships and other people's money. Hello, it's Scorpio energy.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But probably history is strong, so it's like soul bonds, bringing people where you don't know each other, but yet you do. There's that
Yeah.
deep connection that's going to be there. So if that's going to be the timing, well, then Jupiter is trining that for you.
Yeah, I think it's all going to happen within, I'm thinking more of like 2 weeks.
I was just going to say, I'm thinking sooner, because it's going to be triggering your Saturn first at 4 degrees.
Yeah.
You see? And this is just 2 degrees away from that. So I think it's going to be earlier than a month.
Yeah. Yeah, I have a feeling it's going to be, of course, it's going to be when I'm trying to be with family and everything else, and it's going to be like, okay, I saw family. Okay, I'm rushing back because now I'm live. Now I'm posting.
Mhm. Yeah, as long as
Yeah.
you've been working at it for a while, and I just think that, yeah, don't wait any longer. Do what you got to do, take care of the family while they're in town, but then once the family's gone.
Yeah, well, we're traveling to them. So our daughter's flying in. She's just graduated from nursing, so that's nurse number 2
Nice.
in the family, and then we're going over for her graduation ceremony, and we're seeing the rest of the family all together. So I'm excited because I'm gonna go see.
This
see
makes a lot
everybody.
of sense
Yeah.
because this is very, it's busy energy. It's Cancer with the Mercury energy and the third house stuff mixed. And Jupiter does represent the traveling too. Traveling to see
Yeah.
family. Like
Yeah.
Jupiter is, I mean, that's what yeah. There's 1,000 different definitions. And this is airplanes, this is vacation, this is traveling, going on a journey to see family. Like that's there too. Absolutely.
So
So I'd say you're all good. And the uncomfortableness with family, well, this is the significant one-on-one relationships.
mhm.
So,
And
and it's just an
yeah.
uncomfortable. It's a quincunx. It's just uncomfortable, but it's coming from Jupiter. And I know Jupiter is not your great benefic. Venus is because
Mhm.
Venus is, but Jupiter has a promise of being super supportive, nurturing, and it just increases the empathy. Our family grows with Jupiter in Cancer.
Yeah.
And how funny you're like a family reunion. So literally the family grows, right? You're around family a lot. And I just wouldn't be overly concerned. Now, Jupiter can be an authority figure. So if you think there's going to be like a butting of heads or something, like
No.
a father
Yeah.
and a mother type of energy, but because Moon is mom energy, right?
Mhm.
But yeah, I'm not too concerned. The 2 degrees makes sense because if you have to go and do the traveling, well, that's an expense.
Yeah.
There's an
Yeah.
expense involved in it.
Yeah. And
So
hotel and yeah.
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that ain't free.
Yeah.
For
Yeah.
sure
And
it's
not
not.
staying with crying babies. Yeah. No.
No, right. You got to get, well,
Yeah. You
see,
got to give them space. Right.
you're doing it
Yeah.
really smart.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's the way to do
Now,
it.
now, does this support me starting a exercise program? Because I figure once I'm launched, after setting everything up, I'm going to need to start getting out there, exercising, just releasing some of this energy. Does
Well,
that
you do have your
support
Mars
me?
in your first house. And,
Okay.
that's a nice placement for Mars to be in. It is in Gemini, of course, so that kind of
Yeah.
supports what you're planning on doing with that social media stuff. Jupiter's also publishing too, by the way. So having
Okay.
publishing in that third house, interesting. Well, YouTube, you press
Yeah.
publish to get to post a video. And then the Mars up in the sky is going to be in Virgo. So it is going to be in your 5th house.
Okay.
Children, fun, joy, creativity. So Mars being here will make me want to get active, whether it's, sports, but taking care of health for sure, because it's Virgo
Yeah.
energy. And then, Mars is going to touch in on your Uranus, which is, okay, some new day-to-day routine.
Hmm.
Mars will get activated when it touches Uranus energy. You will be doing something new. It will
Okay.
be health oriented, but for you, having it be something you really enjoy will be vital because it's in your
Yes. Yeah.
house. So nature, animals, pets, right? Like that's going to be part of it. It doesn't mean they have to go with you, but it just means connecting with those things give you joy. You follow?
Hmm. Yes, definitely.
Yeah, that's all. But new is excitement with Uranus energy. New, exciting, and different is Uranus. And
Yeah.
feeling free. That's the other thing. Feeling free instead of feeling tied down or bogged down or, when we have a lot of responsibilities and we're burning the candle at both ends, that, this would probably be much needed time away. And then then the transiting Mars is going to touch on your Pluto. So yeah, there can be an opportunity for definitely connecting with holistic sort of actions with
Hmm.
Mars in the Virgo energy.
Yeah, I'm starting to do more holistic things for health wise.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And that will affect that Mars as it goes through Virgo has a lot to do with your Mars. You're going to have Mars in Virgo will actually square your natal Mars, but a Mars squaring Mars actually gives us like it amps us up a little bit.
Oh,
Like
good.
we
I
get
need that.
action. Yeah, Mars
Yeah.
squaring Mars, Mars squaring Pluto. We have like bursts of energy. But the thing is that Mars energy is not marathon energy. Mars energy is literally sporadic bursts of energy. So we come out of the gate really fast. That's Mars.
Okay.
It's not marathon. So if we know that ahead of time, right, then we can
Mhm.
just plan accordingly and be smart about it.
Okay, good. Okay. That will,
Yeah.
yeah, if I, that's the thing is I'm trying to get that. I'm doing all the creative writing right now, and I'm, because normally I write a lot of legal stuff. So
Mhm.
okay, don't be so formal, and
Yeah.
get that creative side. So I'm writing a lot and just trying to create everything. And I know that I need to go have that physical release, and that's coming
Yes.
as well. Yeah.
Hell yeah. Without the physical release, Mars energy, there can be like pent up frustration, and we can get impatient and kind of snap off even because
Yeah.
you're Mars at 3 degrees.
Yeah.
There might be a little bit of a sting there at times.
Yeah. No, so 3 is communication. So that means
Yeah,
that
it's
I'm just,
talking,
yeah,
communication,
I
the
should shut my
mind.
mouth for a bit. Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
we all have those challenging times for sure.
Oh,
So
I should
yeah,
have known that
that would
yesterday.
be, but that's where the physical outlet comes in.
Hmm.
You know, we have a joke around here that when you get like that, go out and dig some holes.
Yeah. Yeah. Just exactly. Just go have
Burn
a
off that
physical
energy.
release. Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
Should have known
Exactly.
that last night. Just saying. Should have known that last night.
Well,
Should have gone for a walk.
and I'm pretty sure I know you're not the only person that is thinking that right now. Or that last night, the day before, this is the effect that we're under with what's up in the sky affecting a lot of people that way.
Yeah. A lot of people
Mercury in
in
the two
tears.
square with the
Yeah.
nodes.
Yeah.
Tricky energy.
Yeah. A lot of people in emotion and in tears, and yeah.
And
And
very
anger.
feisty.
Yeah.
A lot of feisty energy.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, wow. This is amazing. Thank
Did it help
you.
you? Are you good?
Hugely helped me. Thank you so much.
You are welcome. You
Thank
are
you. Thank you.
welcome.
Yeah, okay. So, yeah, absolutely just confirmed what I was thinking was happening. So thank you very much.
Yeah, you're welcome. Not a problem. Good
And
luck. And we like
thank you.
updates.
Yes. And keep in touch, and we will definitely
Absolutely.
touch base.
Yes, yes. Thank you
Okay.
for the channel gift. I appreciate it.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you.
Yep. You are welcome.
Okay. Okay.
Yep. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thanks.
All righty. Here we go. All right. Who is after? I'm sorry. Here we go. I got to get my eyes. My eyes are like feeling funky. All righty. So thank you. Wow, man. Okay. Let me find out where I'm at here. Thanks. Okay, so yeah, I totally don't know. All right, we got an updated list here. All right. Oh, so Cats is next, right? Because wasn't Donna number 6? So this should be Cats next. Lou's passing. Zazu sent the sun's chart. CG is passing. Drawing momentum. Drawing momentum. I don't have digits for drawing momentum. Not that I know of anyway. Steffi G's on the way to work. Okay. So is Cats here? Cats, are you still here? Yeah, looking for guidance in relationship, personal. Looking for guidance in relationships, personal health for the future. All right, let me get Kat's chart up here. Let's see what we're talking about real quick here. Let me really quick. Let me go check this real quick so that I'm not I got to make sure I'm paying attention on this. Okay, so let's get Kat's chart up here. Yeah. And HIJK cats. All right, we got the K's. Oh my gosh. I had no idea. I had so many I have so many J's. Holy crap. It took me forever to get to the K's. Okay. So Kat, let me get this. I'm not sure if you wanted this link or not, but let me get the link to you real quick. And hopefully we'll just see what we can see real quick here for you. All right, so let's get this chart on the screen. Share screen. Yeah. All righty, we got Kat's chart up here. Kat's looking at relationship energy and health, if that's correct. All right, let's see. It's 11:10. All right, let me get through this. We got people. All right, so we got the Scorpio moon going on. My mind went right to that. Is there an emotional thing for you, Kat? Because you're talking about health and relationships. Let me see here. Oh, yeah, there might be an emotional thing. I understand why now. Okay. All right, I'm glad that jumped out. The moon jumped right out at me, Cats. I gave you the link. I didn't know if you wanted to pick it up and if you had a thing, but here's where the moon comes in. If I take this down, let me take this off so you can see this for you. Yeah, so we have Jupiter entering Cancer energy, right? And so you're going to have Jupiter sitting right there. I think she's here. Cat. Is that the same cat? How come these don't match? Is that on purpose? Cat, is that you in the green room, Cat? Can you put it in and let me know if that's you there? Because there's somebody in the green room, but it doesn't say Cat's 420. It says KAT something else. So I'm just double checking to make sure that that's you. So what's going to happen is the Jupiter energy, right? 2 degrees, 5th house, children, fun, joy, creativity, romance. You have Cancer energy there, but you also have Mars energy there. So when Jupiter and Mars connect, there can be an opportunity, possibly, because it's the house of romance, is that 5th house energy. So you're going to have, here's something when someone has Cancer energy, which is basically a woman's ability to have a baby in the 5th house of creativity, and Jupiter's going through there, if you're looking to have a good time and get into a relationship, you want to be really cautious if you don't want children. That's the best way to put that. All right, Cats, is that you?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So do you understand what I'm saying? I'm talking about Jupiter going through your 5th house. And that is the house of romance, mating, dating, relating, right? It's also the house of children. And Cancer energy is a woman's ability to have that baby in the belly. That's the get pregnant energy. You follow? So with Jupiter going through your 5th house, Jupiter adds to the family. So just right off the top, looking at that, I'm like, oh shit. Okay. So that's something you should just know in advance. Now, That's just by me taking a quick look and connecting the 5th house and Cancer energy and Jupiter, and then Mars being there in your body. Now there can be other things, like you do have Saturn at 5 in Libra. So that squares some of that. So that does create a restriction. So I just wanted to, if that's a concern of yours, just keep that in the mind. But yeah, as Jupiter goes through the 5th house, Jupiter typically, for a woman looking for a man, absolutely can bring an opportunity for romance. And
how long does Jupiter stay, or how long is it going to go through there?
12 months, that's it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Jupiter's not super fast, but it's not super slow either. It's only in Cancer for 1 year. So by next June, it leaves Cancer already. So that means you have like a window of opportunity. Now, the interesting thing in your chart is that Venus is actually your greater benefic. Now, that doesn't mean that Jupiter can't bring you a relationship. You have your sun and your moon, all right, both below the horizon line. So it's, it's possible, especially if Venus in your 7th house, in the significant one-on-one relationship, if you have female energy in your life that hooks you up with somebody, like on a date or something, or do you know what I'm saying? If there's a recommendation, hey, there's somebody I want you to meet, that Venus can help. That whoever that Venus is for you, I mean, it's someone that you're close to because it's in your 7th house, because your Venus is your greater benefic. There could be a beneficial opportunity to meet somebody. And if that comes along, because Jupiter will be back here again, in like 12 years, if that Jupiter opportunity comes along, whoever it is, there's a deep emotional connection that's made because it already exists. It's Cancer energy. Like there's history. There's whether you call it past life history, whether you call it soul history, whether you call it family history, meaning like doesn't mean we're related by blood, but it means there's something in terms of like we've got family similarities, right? There's certain things about our nationality that match up. There's just something there that's familiar.
Okay.
It could even just be about our moms, right? But there's something there about that familiarity that Cancer energy can make that connection for you. So you've got a window of 1 year of Jupiter in that 5th house. Now, when you asked about the health thing, Mars is our physical body. Okay. So, and is that what you meant, or was it the health of relationships?
No, that was what I meant. Health of body.
Okay. All right. So the moon was, like I said, the first thing that jumped out at me, and your Mars is in Cancer energy. Your physical body, Mars, is in moon energy. So the emotions are there, which would mean that your emotions can affect your physical body. Now, I know that's common sense for all of us, but it would really, really connect in a powerful way for you. Mars energy in Cancer is, we can be really, it's about our passions because it's Mars, but and passionate about history and family and mom, of course, but it's the intuition and the empathy and the sensitivity, being very sensitive possibly about my appearance or my body. And sometimes we can like pick up on other things from other people, and we may pick it up physically. I don't know if that's happened to you, if you've ever been aware of that, but you would probably be aware of it with children because it's in the 5th house, and with mom, of course, but also if you're romantically involved with somebody, like having a good time with somebody. Now, this is the house of having fun and feeling like a kid. the fifth house. So what that tells me then is if you're physically active, if you're getting physically active, if you're, whether it's to just walk or maybe there was something you liked to do as a kid, like whether it was a sport or maybe it was just swimming or dancing or music, something creative even, because Cancer's creative and so is the fifth house. I mean, I already said that they're baby making energy, but creative in the other ways too. You know? Yeah. That would be a great way to possibly meet somebody using the creativity.
Nice.
So I'm not sure if I can't remember if you've ever shared about being creative, but you have Leo in the 6th, so it's a domestic kind of creative energy. It likes entertainment, likes to be entertained. And Cancer can be very sensitive sometimes, especially probably around creativity. So do you have ideas in your mind about how you could be creative? Because you have Taurus in the 2nd and the 3rd, so it likes beauty and harmony and peace and food. It can be really creative with food, whether it's just in taste or in appearances, and both, or making something or somebody beautiful, right? Beauty's a big word with that. And Taurus and Cancer get along really well. So this is another outlet in which to connect, to make contact, and to do things that would help you to create, right? And of course, Taurus is a very earthy energy, so it's the earth and being outside possibly, but yeah, it just depends. Because you also have a Chiron there. But your emotions are connected to your body because you have the body in Cancer energy. So that has to do with your appearance. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, yeah, as Jupiter goes through Cancer energy, it will touch your Mars energy. And we just did a chart. It's in 1 month time where it's already close enough where it's making contact with your Mars. Here's the thing. When Jupiter and Mars make contact, Jupiter can expand on whatever it touches. So it doesn't mean you're doomed to gain weight, but there can be weight gains. It doesn't happen to every single person, but some people notice it. So if you're already thinking ahead and kind of concerned about that, then, start taking some actions to have control of that, if that's what your concern is. Because I'm not sure what you mean by health, if it was just by appearance or if there's some health issue. Because you do have the sun in the 6th house, but you're kind of a youngster.
Well, yeah, I just have any health issues, but just don't want to have health issues.
Well, yeah, me neither. Absolutely not. Absolutely, right? I want to stay healthy, though. Then you got to take the steps to be healthy, and it might be tricky in the fact that you got Leo in the 6th house, and that's the house of Virgo and the health. And you do have the sun and the moon there. You do have the Leo. Leo is heart energy, by the way. And having sun and moon means fun will be key. Mm-hmm. If you're concerned about health, then get busy, get active, but find things that you consider almost like play to help you get active.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Or to stay active, or whatever it is, whatever that thing is that, you're considering doing. With your natal Mars in Cancer, Mars already went through Cancer. It was in Cancer for all of last year, actually, 6 months. It's been in Cancer. And so you did have a Mars return. And with that Mars return and us having Mars in Leo this whole time in your 6th house, that probably would have been a better time to actually start to implement a new health routine. Doesn't mean it can't still be done. It just means that when we had Mars in Leo, it was trining our fiery Aries energy. You follow where I'm going? And it was trining all and fire makes us, fire is when we start, we're passionate about something. We start something. We don't just sit around normally because Mars is very active. But again, the 5th house is active and playful. You know, it doesn't want to just sit on its butt. So you can have an opportunity there.
Okay.
So it sounds like, yeah, you're kind of already got the idea of.
Yeah. Can I ask one thing? What is the beneficent, or this word you said a couple times?
Oh, it just means that it's either Venus or Jupiter, and in your chart, it's Venus. But it just basically means it's kind of like your, what should I call it? I mean, you could call it a guardian angel. You can call it. It's just the planet that brings things to you, that gifts you, basically.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and because of the location of your sun, yours is Venus, and she's in the 7th house in Virgo.
Okay.
You follow? So significant one-on-one relationships. These can be work partnerships because it's in Virgo. Okay.
Yeah, that makes sense. Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And
no, you've just said it a couple times, and I'm like, I have no idea what this word means.
yeah, it just means they bring you good. How about that?
I like it. I'll take it.
I'm going to bring you some good. All righty?
Alrighty. Thank you so much.
You are welcome. Thank you. All right. Here we go. So I'm looking for the next person. All right, here's my chart. All right, so we got cats, loose passing, Zazu. You want me to get your son's chart up here? All right, we got the digits. I know you sent the digits. Zazu, are you still here, Zazu? Zazu said, hi, Derek. Hey, brother Briscoe is here. What's going on, Derek? Long time, no see. How are you? All right, let me get Zazu's chart. Zazu, I see, is still here. That's great. So we're looking at a heart thing. Let me get these digits in here. And yeah, I said the sun is the heart, right? The Leo energy. Let's get this on here. Yeah. Where did that go? Zazu. There we go. Okay, let me get that up here real quick. Oh, there's no real quick. I got to create the chart first. So let's get that in here. Hey, Zazu, do you want his name on this chart, or do you want me to just put Zazu's son? Because you gave me his first and last name in the email. Do you want that on that chart? March 28th. And, oh, I could have left it. Okay. It was another San Francisco. I was thinking about what Christy was saying about her mom and in the 80s. That made me laugh. So did she answer? She said no. Okay, we'll just put Zazu's son on the chart. Oh, I hope we're getting the rain we're supposed to get. God, we need the rain. It's been so freaky dry. It's just weird. It's super weird. Alrighty. So, I don't know if this is the right chart. I have a Capricorn rising. Have you seen his chart? He's a Capricorn rising at 24 degrees. He is an Aries sun, but it's that, yeah, it's the rising sign. 4-degree Leo moon. Okay. 4-degree Leo moon. Sun is in Aries. 5th house, he is Gemini in the 5th house. Born 1969. Okay. Okay, Uranus is up there. Jupiter's there. Wow. Okay. So he's gonna. All right. So he had a. All right. He's gonna have Uranus trining the south node. His south node. All right. Let me see what she said. I'm reading a chart. I don't even know if this is his chart. Let me get this on here. So you've never seen it. Okay. Well, then we're gonna have to just take a look at the basics, and you'll have to tell me if this is him, because we don't know if this is him or not. Yeah. You know, every once in a while we get these weird things that happen with the charts. Okay, so his chart, I'll get this on the screen for you. Okay. And let me see. Let me give you the link. I don't know if I put it down there. If you want the link, here you go, Zazu. There's the link for you if you want it. And all right. So what I have here. Yeah, I've got a Capricorn rising at 24. Oh, Zazu's here. All right. All right, let's get Zazu in here. Hello, hello, hello.
Hi.
How you doing there?
Well,
I hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
All right. Yep, I hear you now. Very good. Okay, so you haven't seen his chart before. Well, according to this chart, this makes him a Capricorn rising.
No.
Capricorn on the ascendant. So normally with the Capricorn on the ascendant, you know, these are folks who, you know, it's very much, they appear to be very hard workers. How about that? And if this is his chart, having Aquarius in the 1st house, right? That's a little bit more Saturn energy. So when he was born, it even was there a thing about food?
It's kind of giving me some feedback, and I don't know exactly how to deal with that.
Okay, I'm sorry. You're getting feedback?
Yeah, so I'm going to close my video.
Are you talking about sound? Oh, maybe it was the internet. Oh. Well, can you hear me wherever you went? Oh, wait, it says she's still here. Okay, let me get over there. And let's see. Hello, hello.
Hello.
All right, we got you back.
Yeah.
All right, very good. You said there's feedback. Is it audio? Is that the problem?
It was kind of double, but it's not happening now.
Okay. I was going to say, they say that when that happens that you have to close the YouTube.
I think Kat came in and did it for me.
Oh, there you go. I was just going to say she'll know. She does a good job when she's
Yeah.
here. All right. So did he have an issue with food as a very young baby?
No.
I mean, really young. According to this, Sirius is at 0 degrees in Aquarius in this 1st house. So he was just born at the ascendant there. So this is not long at all. Was there any issues with feeding?
I don't recall any issues, no.
I know, right? I'm asking you to think way back.
Yeah. Recall.
Wow, that's wild.
There was issues giving him a bath, but you know,
A bath.
Yeah.
Well, because this chart shows a south node at 0 in Libra, and then a Jupiter at 0. I mean, this chart shows some intense energy.
Yeah.
That's a retrograding Jupiter. And then it shows a Uranus right there at 1 degrees. So that would mean those 3 huge things, the South Node, Jupiter, and Uranus, were all trining Sirius, which is the food and the nurturing. It could also mean, was he in the hospital for an extended period of time after birth?
No.
Okay. Was there a ton of people around?
No.
Wow, really? Okay, maybe this is not. Let me double check the birth digits. Let me reread this back to you. March 28th, 1969, 2:43 a.m.
San Francisco.
San Francisco. So all that's correct?
Yes.
Yeah, we might have to do this another time. I might have to create a different chart on a different software just in case. Okay, let's see if there's anything else. So far, none of that makes a whole lot of sense. What about were there anything that was shocking and surprising about him at all or significant? Whether it was, with the birth, but also, in the first year of his life, were there any restrictions?
No,
Was he an early walker?
I don't remember a lot of it.
Okay, well then let me move on, because then I know that's asking a lot. I'll get away from the first house. That's young.
In his first year, I was cataloging a metaphysical library, and he was always on a blanket on the floor in the midst of all of this out of print metaphysical information, and I've always had a feeling that he absorbed a lot of that because he's really knowledgeable. He's super. He just knows things,
Well, he has Mercury in Pisces, and that would be part of that. We absorb things in Pisces, and his Mercury, the knowledge, the information. That's kind of interesting that you said that. All this metaphysical information that he was around, and he just absorbed it. He has Mercury in Pisces. Yeah. Wow. Let me look at his 12th house. Yeah, see, that's interesting because he has Capricorn in the 12th. So this kind of suggests having Capricorn in the 12th. This can be a tricky placement. I won't say hard, but a tricky placement. Capricorn normally kind of represents our work, our duty, our responsibility, our long-term financial security. So in the 12th house, what's tricky about that is, well, it can be hidden from us, right? It can make it hard to understand, okay, what my work is going to be, unless I'm a person who is into the 12th house stuff, which can be the metaphysical stuff. It can also be spirituality. It can be, music and sound, but it's an interesting mixture of like the ethereal Pisces energy, but yet the tangible, hard, I can hold in my hand Saturn energy is Capricorn. You know what I mean? So it can speak to like that kind of work, spiritual work. Let me kind of go back down here. So his early childhood, like he's got a lot of Aries energy.
Yes, he does.
Yeah, lots of Aries. Saturn and Venus together in Aries. His sun in Aries. His Chiron in Aries at 3 degrees. This suggests communication, thinking and communication, talking.
He's very good at all those things. It's just
he's what?
He's very good at all of those things. It's just that right now he's in a precarious health situation, and honestly, I'm just barely holding it together, because I'm I'm just so afraid that he's going to leave his body,
Let me see here. So you said there's a heart condition?
Yeah.
Or something with the heart?
11 years ago, we nearly lost him, and they performed an emergency surgery on his heart that he had a less than 20% chance of surviving.
Oh, wow.
And
Okay.
and he survived it,
Yeah.
And at the time, had they told me, okay, you've got a year, I would have been thrilled. We've had 11 plus years.
Wow.
And now he has a pacemaker, and now his heart, they say that the lower part of his heart is weakening. And now he's experiencing shortness of breath. He's got a lot of water. His feet are swollen, and frankly, I'm just scared. I don't want to lose that body. I know, and I don't want to see him suffer either. So
Yeah.
it's just kind of a tough time for me. But that's another story. I just was hoping that maybe you could see something in here that would help me to understand what's going on with him.
Well, he let me see here. He had Jupiter going through his 5th house. And that 5th house is we talk about the 5th house for heart. Leo energy.
Yeah.
5th house. And so Jupiter was here. And now Jupiter's going into Cancer. So Jupiter's going to be going into the 6th house of health. Now, let me back this up and see. All right. So Venus is actually his. Oh, he's got a tricky chart. See, Jupiter is not his, what we call that great benefic, like the helper. The Venus is his helper. The thing is that the planet that usually can come in and give us the protection and the assistance that we need, his Venus, it is strong, it is intense. He's got a retrograde Venus, but it's right next to Saturn, and Saturn creates restrictions. It can restrict some of that. So as Jupiter moves over here at the same time, literally like 4 weeks, I should say, once Jupiter is in Cancer, he'll have Uranus over here. Yeah, he's going to have Uranus enter Gemini energy. So Venus, where's Venus going to be by transit? Venus is in Taurus right now. Okay, and then she'll be, that might be helpful. Venus then will enter Gemini energy as well. Let me go and look at this transit real quick on here for this. And again, we're not positive this is his chart. Now, he does have you in his 7th house.
We're very close.
Okay. Well, then there you go. He's got mom, and he's got mom at the 4-degree mark too. Wow.
What does that mean?
Well, it's the same as the moon. 4 degrees the same is the energy of the moon. So he's got the moon at the moon degree. It's a lot of mom energy. It's a lot of mom.
I think that the last time around, he was the parent and I was the child. That's what I feel intuitively.
That's a really good possibility. That's a very good possibility because the sun is considered, it can be the dad energy, the authority figure.
He often treats me that way, as mom,
Uh-huh.
You left the stove on, and how many times have I told you that, that
yeah.
A parental approach to me sometimes, but he's just so bright. And he has this incredible memory, and he when it comes to metaphysical things, he's not a person that studies metaphysics, but he reads about all these things, and anything I bring up, he has something that he knows about it, you know, and it's really quite interesting.
Well, you know, when you have, because this would be Jupiter energy in his 11th house too, Aquarius, astrology, Jupiter, you know, these can, and then of course the Neptune and Scorpio. That's a strong, that mixture right there. Another strong emphasis, other than his Mercury and Pisces, for metaphysical stuff.
Yeah, he understands it.
Yeah.
And kind of naturally, you know, it just like, yeah, I get that, you know.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, having the Jupiter in the 6th house, and the 6th house is the health stuff. Jupiter can bring protection. It can bring assistance, but I just, you know, I got to be honest with you, like I said, because Jupiter is not considered his great benefic. So if it was his great benefic for somebody in his situation, I would say, wow, I would feel more comfortable. Like, okay, Jupiter is going to bring me what I need. It's going to provide. It can do that for him because Jupiter is at this, you know, it's supposed to be, it's like a special time for the next 12 months with Jupiter and Cancer energy. So it can provide what we need, but at the same time, it's in the house of health. So it can add to whatever it touches, right? Well, if it's the house of health and it adds to something with health, it can go that route too.
Yeah.
You know, and
that's my fear.
I realize that. Yeah. And I just, yeah, I can't, I have to say what, you know, what's here, you know, but Jupiter does give us hope for the future.
Okay.
And being in the sign of Cancer, hopefully it gets mom. The moon energy, because it's moon energy, it's Cancer. Hopefully it gives mom, you know, more hope about the future.
I hope so.
In terms of his health, you know.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, I mean, I understand, you know, the anxiety that you're having about this, because with Uranus here, it again, if this is accurate, if this is his chart, it is aspecting, you know, this Jupiter and this South Node together. So that it is Libra energy.
What was the South Node again? Is that the past or the future?
Well, it's more about the past. It's almost like we can have a superpower where the South Node is, like we have a superpower, and his superpower looks to be not only in relationships, but, you know, the occult, because it's the 8th house. That's sitting in his 8th house.
Yeah.
So that's also another indicator for what you mentioned. The knowledge that he has and that he understands these things that, you know, that he's kind of been surrounded in from a very early age. But, you know, Uranus is also sitting right there at 1 degrees, right next to the South Node and Jupiter. And so that can be sudden surprises and shocks. Yeah. And so he has Uranus trining Uranus. And, you know, maybe the trine will bring something good and Jupiter is involved in it. But I would feel better if you were to just, you know, just realize that because it's Uranus, I don't feel comfortable saying it's going to be one way or the other, because it's Uranus and it says to expect the unexpected.
Yeah, exactly.
You follow? So I don't know if I'm actually giving you any information that is helping you in any way at all, or giving you any peace or ease.
I get up, you know, like 5 times a night and peek in to see if he's breathing. You know, it's like I'm at that point right now. But I also understand that. I mean, I also makes me very sad to see him suffering, because he's always been very active. We didn't know he had his heart was deformed from birth that nobody had any idea about.
Okay.
So that was on his 45th birthday is
Okay.
when the surgery occurred, and his particular condition, the doctors told us his condition lifespan is 45. If you have 2 ventricles, it's about 65, and if you have 3, it's like in your 80s. Well, his was 45, but he survived it, and so. So I have gratitude that I've had this extra time with him, but I also am trying as best I can to visualize a miracle and prepare myself for not having him in his physical form, if that makes any sense.
Well, he's a fighter, I can tell you that.
I know he is. Yeah.
You can see that. Like I said, if this is his, I mean, having the Libra at the, the Aries at the 7 degrees. Yeah. But that's a nice, his Mars is also in fire at 11 degrees. So they trine each other. The sun and his Mars, both in fire, are trining each other. And the moon, it's a little bit lower in numbers, but it's part of that same trine. It's part of that same trine that he has. So, that fire energy, especially with, his sun being there in Aries, that's a soldier. They don't give up.
Well, I hope he doesn't. I do red light energy for myself. I have a whole thing, and I want to ask him. I've mentioned it a couple of times. If he would be willing to do that, because I have the laser, I have the whole thing. And so I'm just hoping that maybe he'll accept that, and that will help his heart. I don't know. I believe in miracles.
So, has he said okay to the red light?
Not really. It's just he listens to it, and his son. We all live together. Him and Kat, and Moss's son Nikos and I. We all live together, so we have this incredible unit, And Mikos, that's his son, has also told him about the red light energy and is actually creating a device specifically for him, because Mikos he's out there. And so I'm hoping that he will allow this to happen. His job is long hours right now, and he's kind of struggling with it because because of his breathing, he just is tired, So
that's hard.
Yeah, has trouble sleeping.
That's very hard. Well, maybe because you mentioned that, like, Uranus's technology. Something new, something different.
I'm going to push for it then.
So maybe just maybe, whether it's through you or science, the medical field, I don't know. Maybe there will be, something that maybe that can be part of this new and different and exciting and surprising. Yeah. It's worth a try.
Can't hurt.
Yeah, exactly. It's worth a try. But at the end of the day, if he doesn't want it, he doesn't want it. It's up to him.
Yeah.
And sometimes that's part of sometimes that's just part of the experience, is realizing it's their journey.
Yeah.
And now I know as a mom, that's difficult.
Well, it just, I've always felt that it was just not natural for the child to die first,
I completely agree. I totally agree.
Yeah, and I've seen it happen to a couple of my friends, and
Yeah, it's horrible.
it is. It's
A
just
parent never expects that. They always think they're gonna die before their children, of
yeah.
course.
And
Yeah.
I'm having heart problems right now, so it's really interesting because we've both. I had heart surgery in November, and I was in the ER. I'm in the hospital 2 days ago with my heart, and and I just have this feeling. I'm thinking, are we both gonna check out at the same time? You know,
Mm.
it's just weird. It's just weird. I get these thoughts, and I don't know. My intuition's pretty good, but that's not one that I'm happy with. But
Right.
you know,
Right. Sometimes you just don't wanna know. It's
yeah,
like,
exactly.
if
But
it's
in this
gonna
case,
happen, then let it happen.
yeah. But I wanted to ask the questions or have you look at his chart, just
Mhm.
mostly to help me. So I'm going to push him for the red light therapy, and I think that his son will as well. I think Miko's will as well. So maybe we can get him to do that.
Well, and also, I mean, I'm just assuming this means that he's gotten medical help?
Oh yeah, he's um, he because of the pacemaker. They check that every um, I don't know how often. That's the other thing is he won't talk to us about it. It was just yesterday. He came in
Mm.
here to my office, and I said, "What's up? You're not looking so hot." And that's when he finally told me. He says, "I'm really having trouble breathing," and he's like, "I can't get a full breath,"
Mm.
and he just gets super tired.
Yeah.
And so I was just pretty much
So that right there was not, that was new.
well, it wasn't new to him because he said, I said, "Well, what?" He says, "They told me this would happen." I said, "What do you mean they told you this would
Oh.
happen?" He says, "They told me that this would be the next step in the progression of his lower heart weakening."
Oh.
So that
Okay.
that just kind of sent me into I had a very difficult day yesterday.
Hell yeah.
You know, trying to just I reached out to a couple of friends to
Yeah, that's some shocking news.
talk to, because I just thought, oh my God, how am I going to live without him?
Mhm. Yeah, that's difficult.
Yeah,
And then that makes a little bit more sense now because this was something that he was told was,
was going to happen. It was,
yeah, that these were the stages.
yeah.
And mm, well,
So it's like expect the unexpected.
well, yeah, and maybe in your case, maybe that'll be something positive. I mean, I'm just trying to put a positive spin on this because the reality is that if this was what they expected,
Then
they
maybe
said
it
this
won't
was,
be.
yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. Like, holy crap, maybe, like you said, well, then maybe the unexpected would actually be like blow
Well,
the medical field's minds and be like, how the hell did he do that? Like, I don't know. You
well,
know,
it's like the first surgery.
um,
He was in the ER for months, and so it was at a teaching hospital, University of California Teaching Hospital. So they have teams,
yeah,
and each team would report to us each day. And the surgeons are so cold. I guess they just have to
yeah,
be. And he just said, I will not perform this surgery because I won't perform a surgery for anybody who has less than a 20% chance of
oh, geez.
survival.
Oh,
And
wow.
so we said pretty much goodbye to him as they wheeled him into surgery, not knowing whether he was going to make it.
Yeah,
And he beat all the odds.
yeah,
And so, I just keep thinking, yeah, you can do it again. So kind of the mindset that I'm trying to foster in myself.
Well, to me, listening to you talk about this, to protect you, just realize that whatever it is that happens, it's not in your hands.
Yeah, I know.
And it would probably, like you said earlier, it would probably be best to just focus on that you did get 11 extra years.
Yeah.
That, they said you weren't going to get, that you did get that. And if you get 11 more, great.
Yeah.
And who knows what will happen.
Yeah.
And you can be, positive, optimistic, and pray for what you want. But the surrender part, where sometimes we just have to remember that, when things happen, they happen. And it's to nobody's fault. It's just things happen.
Yeah.
And
I drew the surrender card today. I keep the little angel cards here, and I picked up, and it was surrender, and I went, I guess I just have to accept whatever it is that, if he's completed his contract, and it's time for him to leave this body, then.
Yeah. And it sucks. It absolutely sucks. If that's what it's going to be, then yeah, like you said, it sucks for
a whole lot of ways.
Parent to outlive their kids. My mother buried 2 of her children.
Oh God.
And a parent never expects that their children are going to, leave before they do. And it's hard, especially when they were unexpected, shocks and surprises, and they just kind of all of a sudden happen type of thing. It's very difficult.
Yeah.
So in your case, you got extra time, and sometimes that's harder. Sometimes that's harder.
Yeah.
It sounds crazy, but we get used to things being a certain way.
Yeah.
And for a parent, it's just hard. And from the way you described your relationship with them, I could understand it.
Oh, we have these great conversations,
Yeah.
It's wonderful.
Well, here's the other thing too, that, and I know this doesn't make it any better or easier if it's time, but maybe have conversations about, since he knows so much, he has a lot of this innate understanding about the other side, then maybe if he goes, he'll be able to at least make contact with you and be like, Mom, you don't see me, but I'm around.
Yeah, I've thought about that, whether he's just kind of like, okay, I'm through, I've done what I came to do. And I don't know. I don't know. I thought today I want to talk to him about making a recording for me that I can always listen to his voice if he decides to leave his body,
Well, that's a nice idea. It could even just be something simple like you two having a conversation, because it might feel kind of weird. Like, okay, I don't know how it would work for him, if he's okay with that or not, but but that sounds like a really nice idea, and something that you two could just share a moment together. And if you have a recording of it,
Yeah. I kind of started doing recordings of our conversations because he would always drive me to my medical appointments or whatever,
Yeah.
So I might have a few, but I don't even know if they're still on my phone really, as I got a new phone. So I guess I'll just do that. And
well, it's it's kind of like that old saying. Well, maybe it's not an old saying, which is, we hope for the best and prepare for the worst type of thing.
Yeah.
And it's hard. How do you prepare, for something that you consider to be, something you don't want to consider? Nobody wants to consider that. That's hard. It's very difficult stuff. So I think that whatever happens, Uranus going where it's going to be going, like that should be like a big moment, whatever that's going to be.
When is that? When does that happen?
Well, that's going to be like the end of June, when that Uranus energy gets all the way into, it leaves Taurus and it goes into Gemini, but it only goes to like 1 degrees of Gemini, and then it like backs out again into Taurus. So it doesn't stay there, but it's there for a long enough time where it's definitely making contact with a lot of powerful stuff that he has up here. The South Node, Jupiter, and Uranus. He's got a lot of stuff that's in his 8th house.
Tell me what the 8th house is again.
Well, Pluto rules the 8th house.
Oh, God. Yeah.
So it's definitely change and transformations. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, something is changing.
Yeah.
And Jupiter and Uranus on his South Node are part of that process, if this is his chart. So we can take a look at this again.
Okay.
Next week, we can take a look at it again,
I'm signed up for the end of the month.
Say that again?
I'm signed up for your end of the month.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, like I said, we could take a look at it there. And when we do that, we can, there's always another chart we can look at, because I want to verify for sure that this is his chart. That would be the most important thing first for me to do, is I'll create this in another system just to make sure that we have the right chart here.
Okay.
Okay. Because that would help you too, I think.
Oh, absolutely. And I'll send you an email before that end of the month.
Yeah, that would be good. Yeah.
Just letting you know where I'm at and kind of what I need, looking at my chart, what might help me.
Well, yeah, we might have to do it in segments. Yeah, we'll just communicate through email. How about that? And we'll see.
Sounds good.
We'll figure it out that way.
Thank you so much.
You are welcome.
I don't want to take up all the time. I know
Well, we're done. It's after midnight. We're done.
Oh, okay. Thank you so much.
You are welcome.
All right. Good night.
All right. You take care. Bye-bye.
I will.
All righty. That's hard stuff. I feel for that, for sure. There we go. Okay, we got her out of there. She's all done. I wanted to help her to get out of the studio. I don't know what they have to do on their end, but there's an option where I can click it for them so they can, that way they don't have to try to figure it out and Kat can chill. Well, prayers and sending some good vibes to Zazu's son, who's definitely going through a difficult time. It's interesting because it's more than interesting, but Boondocking with Dennis is going through some very similar stuff as well. He's got wounds, new wounds that have developed on his legs because of his congestive heart failure. And so he's going through some tough times too. And I have no idea how that works, because they're just working on healing the wounds. And it's like, but is somebody working on what's causing the wounds to begin with, the congestive heart failure? So I don't know enough about it to say anything else, but like I said, prayers and sending them some good vibes. I think there's names in the chat that I didn't even get to say hello to. And I so apologize if I didn't get to say hello to anybody that came in. I see Stacy's here. Hey, Stacy. Yeah. I don't know. Yeah. Drawing Momentum was still here. Holy moly. But yeah, Derek, we didn't get to chit chat. Hopefully you got to chit chat with some folks. And yeah, share part of your adventures. All right, guys, we are ending it. So for anybody who didn't get their chart looked at tonight, make sure you go to the email, get your digits to me ahead of time so that we can spend time looking at charts instead of creating charts. That helps. And try to make it, flow a little bit more smoothly. And you can also sign up for the private lives. It's the last Saturday of every month. They fill up fast. Okay, July's already done. I'm sorry, June is already done. I'm sorry. Yes, June is already filled up. So July, I think, has a couple availabilities left for July. And if July doesn't work for you, then send me an email that you want to do the August one. Because remember, it's just one Saturday out of the month. So and it's a small group of people. It's limited seats available. So just send me an email. Email is right below in this chat, and I can give you the details there. It's a private live. The platform is pretty much the same as this. And yeah, it's private though. That's the difference. So with that, we are all set, guys. Thank you, Lou S., very much for keeping things in order. I appreciate it very much. It helps a lot. And for all of you who sent money, Cash App and the Venmo and the PayPals in advance, thank you so much. I appreciate it greatly. And if there's anyone I didn't get to say hello to, I will see you next week. Come on back. We'll be here. It's every Saturday at 9:30. We go from 9:30 to midnight. All right. And so that's it. It's a wrap. Gibson, I didn't even get to say hello to Gibson. Awesome Ellis. Oh my God, I'm just seeing some names at the last minute here. Well, it was great to see you all. Sorry we didn't get to chat. Come on back. All right, guys, we are done. And we will see you next week. Same time, same channel. You take care. Bye-bye.